I'll jump in. It's Shane here. I just thought, well, hi Kathleen Rob, just while you were getting your presentation sorted, I thought I'd jump in and say on behalf of the iMoot team, just thanks for giving up your time and for presenting today. And yeah, looking forward to hearing it. So over to you whenever you're ready to start.
All right. We're ready to start now.
Oh, Rob.
Go on.
Okay, so with online learning at Moodle, at Drill and SC, we've been using computers for a number of years now, but one of the problems that we have is encouraging our teachers to keep innovating and to keep progressing with their Moodle knowledge and with their teaching and learning practice, with their pedagogy. So we've been working for a number of years at getting our people moving along with their professional learning, and this is sort of what we were talking about today. Rob?
That's correct. Now, is there anyone out there
Yep, so we've got a couple of yeses on the chat there.
Yes.
Hooray.
Very good.
Come on, let's get going.
I'm unmuting them all. All right. There's lots of people there. Okay. I guess you have to start with a vision, and our vision is that we're a one-to-one school. Every one of our kids carries a netbook with them into classes, and our vision that we put to our staff over and over again is we put our courses online, our due dates online, our assessment online, and we get our parents, students and teachers used to working in that way. We're very much into where we start from is that it's easy for teachers to translate a paper-based classroom into an online environment. It's easier for them to do that than it is to actually transform what they're doing with ICT. And I've certainly a firm believer that you probably have to translate before you can transform. So, at a basic level, a lot of our teachers have just grabbed all their paper-based worksheets, uploaded them onto Moodle, and that's as far as they've got to start with. But once they're comfortable in doing that, then they can begin to transform the way that they actually teach. What that looks like in our school setting is our courses are online, so students, when they log in, they've enrolled in all their courses. We've configured our desktop to have an upcoming events block on the front, so the upcoming events are all listed so the students can see exactly what they've got to do in all of their different subjects. We've ticked off those two things because they're pretty well done. We've removed paper diaries from the school where kids used to write all their things. They now just use the Moodle calendar as their diary. They plan everything based around that. Our assessment results online is probably the most difficult area, and I know Moodle is working on Gradebook a lot. Gradebook is certainly the area that secondary teachers find the most difficult to work with in terms of getting their Gradebook right. But that's an area that we continue to move on. I guess one of the things that we've done is in Victorian schools anyway, the government has brought in a major focus on what we call performance and development culture for teachers. The Liberal government really worked very hard on introducing performance-based pay for teachers, but they were defeated at the last hurdle and they couldn't get performance-based pay in as such. But what they've told us is that schools really need to make the automatic progression of teachers through a salary scale a lot more rigorous, and so they've told us to increase the rigour of the performance and development process each year. So what we've done traditionally is a feedback cycle, which is what we're still doing, but I think our teachers now are seeing that they really do need to do all of these things. So we get them to set goals. Writing's been a focus in our college, so we work on their writing tasks. They get feedback from students. They work in professional learning teams and they get feedback from them. They work with a teaching and learning coach, and the Prims all work with them. But once at the end of each term, we jump into their Moodle courses. and we have a look at their Moodle courses, and we give them some feedback. Kathleen's one of the teachers who does that. Kathleen, what's it like to do that?
It's really interesting watching what the other teachers are doing in their classes. We've been making a big push to give our students better feedback when it comes to things like the comments and uploading files and things like that. We've been also focusing on using rubrics as well too. So we go in and we check to see whether they're using rubrics as part of some of their assessment. It's certainly not all of their assessment, but are they keeping up to date with their grade book? Do their progress bars match their, what they have in their grade book? Is it well organised? We assess on a number of different strands or in a number of different areas, and as you all probably know, when you add in a new assignment or something, you don't always remember to put it in the right particular category. So that's one of the things that we go on and we look at as part of the teaching courses. So as all of us, we assess to see whether they've got their courses online, their due dates, and whether their gradebook allows for self-monitoring of the students. So with each of the different assignments that the students are doing, then there needs to be some form of instructions that, or even resources that the students can access. So it's things like asking the teachers to elaborate a little bit more than saying, this is, upload your worksheet here. It's trying to encourage them to have the link to the worksheet, have the instructions about when they did it, and those sort of things. We also are looking, and that's the last one where we really check the innovative and interactive online course with a variety of activities. That the vast majority of our teachers can do the first slot, but the last part in particular is where we hit the transformative teaching. So this part is where we start to define between a normal teacher and I guess a super Moodler, in that we expect our better Moodlers to be using things like the forums and the databases and the workshops. We're expecting them to be using these learning opportunities in their courses that were not possible 5 years ago. And also we're trying to encourage them to use peer assessment too as part of that. There's still a fair bit of work to go around with that particular part, but that's what we're aiming for, and that's what we keep on encouraging our teachers to do as part of what's going on. Rob, do you have anything more?
No, I don't. I'm just unmuting everyone. I'm just talking to ourselves here. And you can talk to us, maybe. So, once we've, at the end of the assessment, at the end of term 1, we looked at our staff competency level. We've got a staff of about 70 teachers, and we ranked them in terms of the people who were scoring over 80-90% on that rubric that you just saw, and we called them super Moodlers. Beginning Moodlers were the ones who scored below 40%, and medium Moodlers were 49%. Now, at that time, you try and think, well, we want to move everyone as far into the super Moodle class as we possibly can. By term 2, we had 35% super Moodlers, medium Moodlers. That term super Moodler. Sticker. Here's the thing. You get one of these stickers, and if you get one of these stickers, it says, I am a super Moodler. And we thought it was a bit of a silly idea at the time, but it's actually been really, really effective. This is the paper version of a badge. We're looking at badges now in our Moodle course. But the super Moodler gets the sticker, and we encourage them to stick it on their desk or put it on the back of their netbook that they carry around with them, or put it on their office door, as in my case. And really what it says, and I think the important bit is, it says down the bottom here, on my web camera, Moodle help is available here. And what we've done then is got, if you like, 35% of our staff volunteering to be Moodle trainers. And when a new staff member comes into the school, I say to them, well, walk around, if you get staff, walk around, you'll find those stickers around, and just go and ask those people, and they'll be able to give you help, because they know how to do all of those things on that Moodle rubric that we wanted them to do.
And that's one of the things that we've really been pushing with Moodle, is to encourage the use of sharing all of our courses. So if you're a new teacher at our school, you'll get a copy of the science course or a copy of the English course or whatever it is, and then you start just by hiding and showing the activities that are appropriate to you, and then as you progress with your Moodle skills, you then start to improve what you're doing with Moodle. So we try and share everything as part of that, and that's where the Super Moodler comes in.
Yeah, there's no I say to our young staff, there's no intellectual property at Pukunui Technical College. As soon as you teach and you put your stuff on Moodle, then we've set out all of our permissions and those sorts of things so that everyone can really access anything that's on there. If you're a teacher, then you've got rights certainly to every other teacher's courses, and in your particular learning area, you can go in there. I guess this is singing to the choir over here, so I'll go through these ones quickly, but this is one that I show our new staff, why are we doing this big push for online learning? Well, we're a one-to-one school. We know that our kids, when they leave here, we're a Gippsland school in Australia, our kids go off to Melbourne University where they use Moodle. They use Moodle. They go to Gips TAFE, which is a TAFE institution, more vocational focused. And when they go there, they use Moodle, and that's what our kids will be using. So we need to be using it now already. The other reason Moodle is great, obviously, is because there's lots of resources out there that people can steal about how to use it. There's a great help base all over the world. Our staff to work on is that we don't work in isolation anymore. When we work together, and when we share our content, when we share our issues, then we can get around and we can actually raise the child in a hell of a lot better fashion. One of the things that I try and sort of say to people is, in the olden days, when people used to record assessments like this, then it was pretty helpful for the teacher, and then the teacher could see the kids' marks, and sometimes they would show the child. But the way that we've got to operate now is that not only the teacher can see what's owed, but the parent, the learning group teacher, the year level leader, the assistant principal, the principal, the welfare team, our integration staff, our tutor, everyone can see it. And that's what the Moodle gradebook allows you to do. I'm the assistant principal here, so I had a kid in here yesterday who was in a fair bit of trouble, and I can have a conversation about his learning as well as his behaviour. So I just log in with him on Moodle and I look through, and I say, right, show me what you've done. How come we've got all these red crosses on our progress bar? How come we haven't done this bit of work? What's happening in this class? And I can do that anywhere, anytime, and so can they. And that's the message we're really trying to get across to our staff. That's what needs to actually happen. And the way we do that is put our due dates online, our courses online, our assessment results online, and get people used to working in that way. We don't have planners anymore, and as I said, we really want to encourage staff to be using that. We're trying to encourage them to push email feedback at students, or all those settings are usually turned on so that the kids are getting used to checking their email and things like that on their phones. The use of progress bars, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the progress bar block with Moodle.
Love it.
Yeah, it is a really, really effective thing to use, and certainly in a K-12 environment. Kathleen, you want to talk about progress bars and how we've got people using those?
Sure. With the progress bar, we can set it for we can set it for the different topics that we're doing, and we can associate the green ticks with the different activities for the students to do. So we've aimed for a progress bar in every course. Most teachers use a progress bar for each of the different topics. So if the progress bar is going to be used effectively, we need to make sure that the tasks that are on there are tasks that we want to chase. They need to be tasks that are accessible, that are very important to the student. We've had an enormous discussion in the staff about what is an appropriate level of tasks, what's too many, what's not enough, and how that works within our reporting system. So there are some things that you're going to be asking the students to do and to complete in class, but you may not, which will contribute towards classroom activities, but may not necessarily contribute towards their assessment. So what we ask our students to do is to go through and check for the green ticks and the red crosses. And so we do progress reports every 6 weeks, and pretty much with the progress reports, we send home a small sheet about their behaviour and also how many tasks they have that are not submitted. If a student has got a small, amount of tasks that are not submitted, they don't get hassled by their home group teacher, their form group teacher, and it's also up to the classroom teacher to manage this. As part of that, we can have the progress bar set to things like the assignments submitted, the assignments are marked, and even the grade to pass as well too. That's been really helpful at getting our students to hand in better work. When we first started with the progress bars, it was all about the green ticks. Have I got green ticks in all of my courses? And that worked really well, except for when you had it on the setting assignment submitted, the student would submit a blank sheet of, a blank Word document and go, yep, no, I got my green tick, hooray, that's awesome. And the teacher would be like, no, you need to check your grade book. You clearly have not submitted this particular piece of work, even though you have a green tick. So using the grade to pass has been quite helpful at getting a better standard of work for our students happening. We use the progress bars in all of our different subjects, and the home group teacher will go and chase up all of those red crosses. Rob?
Stuart Mailer is just asking about, why we use completion tracking rather than progress bars, which is better. We've tried completion tracking. My opinion on those completion tracking is a little more difficult to actually manage. And the other thing about progress bars that work is it's just that very quick visual, right, am I up to date? Oh, I've got a red cross, need to do something about that, and I can train our parents, as you can see with, eliminate red crosses, that when they see a red cross on the progress bar, then, and the kid mouses over the progress bar block, then away it goes. I reckon it's probably one of the best modules and add-ons. Now, I'm going to try and do this share my desktop thing. It may or may not work, but I'll try it. And I'll show you a progress bar in action, because I can see from a couple of the questions here that some people haven't actually seen them.
Now, there has been some work on the progress bars in the last few months or so. The wonderful developer has been working on it so that the progress bars now respond to groups as well too. So if you are running a number of groups in your course, the progress bar should be able to manage that fairly well. Rob,
Log into Moodle. Put the wrong password in. More speed, less haste. Oh. All right. This is our Moodle site, by the way.
You got caps lock on?
Yeah, I've got caps lock on, probably. No, here it is. All right, so here's my upcoming events, and I will just quickly jump in here to my course, and I will show you what a progress bar looks like from the student's point of view. All right, so I'll pick a better student than me, because the teacher also gets a progress bar, and guess what? I don't do some of the work.
Yes.
It's not my job. If I go to participants, I'm not going to do that yet. Just what it works from a teacher's point of view. I'll go back. Around everything. Underneath the progress bar, I can get a class view of it, and I can see all the kids who've done everything, and I can quickly sort it by that. So from my point of view, I quickly know the students that I need to work with. And I can also, once I mouse over it, I can say, well, what's that task that wasn't done? Right, I can jump in there and see if she submitted it or whatever. What it looks like from the student point of view, and I'll just send you a ribbon. International conference. Good on Sam. All right, so Sam has done all his forces work, he's done all his genetics work, he's got a piece of chemistry work that he has to do, which is play that solid liquids plasma game. It's on BrainPop, it's very good game. And he's got a couple of upcoming tasks that are in the future there, so he knows where he's at in terms of his work. That works really, really well. Hopefully that works. Progress bars. So I'm sending this out again this week because we've got progress reports coming in, hopefully getting all our parents really working on kids handing work in. Do they work? Once again, whatever you do in a school, you really need to make sure that you evaluate whether it works or not. So we surveyed all our Year 8s last year and asked them, okay, how do we get you up to date? I guess a little bit of background to that. We had a chronic problem in our school of students just not submitting tasks, just not doing the work. And we said, right, what are our reasons, what are our strategies we're going to put in place? And progress bars was certainly one of those strategies. So what we did was survey the kids about how they stay up to date and what's the best way that they can stay up to date.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah, 96% of kids said it really helped them, or 96 students out of the big cohort that we surveyed said, yeah, progress bars are the things that help them keep up to date. And using a study planner, like that's one of the reasons why we got rid of them. The kids said, well, they weren't that useful. Did it make a difference? Like I said, 2012, 70%, 77% task completion in the school because we monitor that through reports. Just by using progress bars, by really hammering that use of them in Moodle to get your work in, we've moved that up by 10%. So we're pretty happy with the way that's trending. We're trying to get a standard course environment. I'm loving what Moodle's starting to do with themes, where you can hopefully lock down a theme if you like. I'd like to. At the moment, our teachers can use whatever themes they like in their courses, but what we're really trying to do is say in your course, every Moodle course screen should have a progress bar at the top, upcoming events underneath, and a calendar underneath that. And so we get our kids and parents used to using that as your organising structure of your course, so that you know what's going on. You know what you should have already done, and if there's a cross there, you know to click on it. You know what's coming up, and you can look at your calendar for things that are even in the future. We're also trying to push assessment results at parents by emailing the gradebook home. I've got a programmer from India to write me a Moodle plugin where we can email the gradebook home to parents, which is a very handy little module. I haven't put that on the Moodle worldwide kind of thing yet because we haven't actually worked out how to do that, but I will be sharing that with the Moodle community, but we've got to develop it to write that. And that works okay. We've got other methods of really trying to keep our parents informed, like you said, regular progress reporting. We're trying to give people tips. This is just a presentation that I gave to the staff about things that they really need to do. I guess in a K-12 environment, and when we as we get better at Moodle, unfortunately, our courses also get really, really confusingly big, and our staff really struggle to keep them manageable, keep the course so that the students can actually navigate their way around it. So my mantra at the start of the semester is hide everything, keep it simple, and let kids get used to it. Our kids are pretty good now, though. Once they're in year 9 and 10, they've used Moodle for a long time. That's just encouraging the staff to go and get help from the Super Moodle and buddies. That's the best form of PD you can get. And there's a list of our Super Moodlers on the staff, and they really actually want to stick it. One of the things that we've also been able to do with our group of Super Moodlers, with the occasional bottle of wine or the occasional chocolate frog because you're a Super Moodler and you do an awesome job, we usually have a Moodle support session after school where one of them just volunteers to help people who are stuck. And our biggest challenge to keep this innovation going is our early adapters and our people who have done a great job. They need to continue to develop. We're moving some of the rocks because it's not all beer and skittles. We still do have some people in the beginning Moodle class. About 35% is now down to 15% of our staff who I would say are not using Moodle well, and hopefully we're reducing that all the time. But you can't throw all your energy at that group of people, you just go mad. Eventually they'll come on board. Our Super Moodlers are now at well over 50% of the staff, because this is an old presentation.
There is also a problem with teacher turnover as well too, in that we have lots of lovely young teachers who go off on overseas trips or go off and have babies and things like that. So there is still quite a changeover in staff at our school. So our beginning Moodler, while that sort of that group is actually quite fluctuating in terms of really new teachers to the school and teachers who are still learning, and that changes each term, and that's something that we have to keep on working on.
Are there any questions? Because we are just about the end of our presentation. Is there any questions you have? No.
Very good job, Rob.
All right, that's all we have to do. Thank you very much for listening to us. I think you will. And if you want any other information. How do we encourage student use of Moodle? Well, we didn't. We mandated it. Our students have to log on to Moodle because that's where their work is, where they've got to submit their tasks. If they want to know what they've got to do, then they've got to get on the Moodle and do that. We did some recent surveying of our students, and just about every student is logging into Moodle 5 or 6 times a week. Over 90% of our students are logging into Moodle from home as well, which is not bad for us because we're in a reasonably low socioeconomic area.
And also our students are fairly spread out as well too, in that they don't necessarily see each other a lot out of school, and that they come from all around.
Any other questions? Anything else you'd like to see? I don't know how that 5 demo went.
So where to next with Moodle in school, Rob?
Just keep doing the same thing. No, we won't. We've got an admin system that we are trying to link to Moodle more and more. We're using an admin system called Central that we're trying to get to talk to Moodle. That's our next level of work. That's where we need to get to next. And yeah, certainly the biggest challenge is new start coming in. You know, once a person's been using Moodle for 4 or 5 years, they're trying along pretty well. But when that person who's never used it comes in and teaches a parallel class with them, they feel pretty out of their depth. And we will put a modified version of this presentation online.
We'll also put up the rubric that we use to assess our teaching on, which we didn't show.
Yep.
I might jump in. It's Shane here. I just thought I'd take the opportunity just to say thank you on behalf of the whole iMoot team for presenting. I certainly don't want to kill the conversation. We've got at least 55 minutes till the next session starts anyway, so please make use of the time. Anyway. But thank you.
How do I turn other people on so they can talk to us?